Brought to you by Penguin.
Hope, the Autobiography, by Pope Francis, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, with Carlo Musso, translated by Richard Dixon, read for you by Peter Ganim. Straight and sincere, they seem what they are. With level heads, firm hand, and solid nerve, they speak little, but know what they say, and though they walk slowly, they travel far. Nino Costa, Raza Nostrana. The future enters into us so as to transform itself in us long before it happens. Rainer Maria Rilke, Letter 8. If I speak in human and angelic tongues, but do not have love, I am a resounding gong or a clashing cymbal. First letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 1. Introduction. All is born to blossom. The book of my life is the story of a journey of hope, a journey that I can't imagine separated from that of my family, of my people, of all God's people. In every page, in every passage, it is also the book of those who have traveled with me, of those who came before, of those who will follow. An autobiography is not our private story, but rather the baggage we carry with us. And memory is not just what we recall, but what surrounds us. It speaks not only about what has been, but about what will be. Memory, in the words of a Mexican poet, is a present that never ceases to pass. It seems like yesterday, and yet it's tomorrow. People often say wait and hope, so much so that the word esperar in Spanish means both to hope and to wait. But hope is above all the virtue of movement and the engine of change. It's the tension that brings together memory and utopia to truly build the dreams that await us. And if a dream fades, we need to go back and dream it again in new forms, drawing with hope from the embers of memory. We Christians must know that hope doesn't deceive and doesn't disappoint. All is born to blossom in an eternal springtime. In the end, we will say only, I don't recall anything in which you are not there. Prologue. They told how they heard a terrible judder, like an earthquake. The whole voyage had been accompanied by loud and eerie vibrations, and the ship was listing so much that in the morning we couldn't put our cafe latte down because it would have spilled over. But that judder was something else. It was more like an explosion, like a bomb. Passengers left the lounges and their cabins, went on deck to find out what was going on. It was late afternoon, and the ship was sailing toward the Brazilian coast, heading for Porto Seguro. It wasn't a bomb, more like muffled thunder. The ship steamed onward, but its motion had become erratic, like a runaway horse. Now it veered dramatically and slowed down. One man, after hours spent clinging to a piece of wood in the ocean, would later testify that he had clearly seen the propeller and left-hand shaft slide off completely. The propeller, they said, had torn a deep gash in the hull. Water gushed in, flooding the engine room, and would soon also fill the hold, since the watertight doors, it seemed, hadn't worked as they should. Someone, they said, had tried to repair the leak with metal panels. In vain. They told how the orchestra was ordered to go on playing, non-stop.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?